rules come into effect from today, which will see workers across Australia have the legal right to ignore calls from the boss. Well, sort of. These new right to disconnect laws are promising all non-small business employees the freedom to refuse contact or attempted contact outside of their working hours unless their employer has a reasonable excuse. To break down how this would work, we're joined by Managing Director of Employee Matters, Natasha Hawker. Morning to you. Natasha, recap for us, what does the right to disconnect legislation mean for workers?
So what it means, Nat, is that any employee has the right to reasonably ignore any monitor or read or respond any contact from their boss unless it's deemed reasonable. So that's going to mean that employers from today, for companies with businesses or numbers over 15, that they can actually ignore that and be perfectly protected under their workplace right.
So I'm kind of old-fashioned, and I would think if the boss is calling or texting me, there would be a reasonable reason for that. Is that not right?
Well, there could be a reasonable reason, but we need to change. So here's the interesting thing. We have up to 5 generations in the workplace. And Nat, I think you and I are Generation X. And because we're Generation X, apparently we are the least comfortable with resisting or ignoring, where our millennials are up to 75% comfortable just saying, sorry, I'm not going to respond. But the interesting thing for workers is that, or for business owners rather, is that they can refuse to respond to you as the boss, but they can also ignore contact from your clients or your suppliers. So there's going to have to be a massive amount of re-education and potentially some cultural change about when we can and can't contact our people.
So I guess it comes down to what's reasonable contact. What is that?
So reasonable contact would be, say, for example, you had a situation where your manager had someone call in sick and there was going to be a shift that was uncovered. That would be a reasonable reason to contact somebody at 8 o'clock at night to say, hey, can you come in tomorrow? An unreasonable one would be, say, for example, you've got a manager that's very disorganized and as a result they're ringing a junior worker at 9 o'clock at night to say, hey, you need to get this report done. That would be deemed unreasonable. And the laws are also very particular about people who have caring responsibilities or when that contact has been made or how that contact has been made. So there's a lot that businesses need to take into account here, and they're going to need to get some help to roll this out. It's not as simple as just putting a policy in place and ticking that box.
I feel a lot of disputes coming on. Thank you, Natasha.
I think there will be.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we'll be talking soon.